Blessed love and blessings way up YouTube, man. We back with another video. In this video, I'm trying to ask y'all, what should Deontay Wilder do next? Should Deontay Wilder take the immediate rematch with Tyson Fury? Let's talk about it.
Welcome to Real Life Boxing!
Blessed love and blessed day. Oh, boxing world, boxing nation, fighting world, fight nation. It's Coach Fine. This is Real Life Boxing. As I said, after Deontay Wilder took the thrashing by the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury, and lost his belts, what should he do next? Should he exercise the immediate rematch clause, or should he take some time off, go back to the drawing board, and fight a couple tune-ups? Hey, before we get into it, I'm going to ask you guys to smash on that like button, hit the subscribe button, and the bell icon so you can be notified when all content is being uploaded on the channel of Real Life Boxing. Let's get into it. Now, me personally, I thought that Wilder looked absolutely terrible the other night. I feel like that was one of his, well, it obviously was his worst performance, but I feel like that's the worst that he's ever looked. Besides the fact that he lost, just from the opening bell, he didn't look good. He was flat. He wasn't sharp. Seemed as though he was almost like scared to get hit. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, went on to just get thumped. Absolutely thumped. So in the wake of the fight, I was like, man, Wilder probably should not take the immediate rematch. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying to myself. You know, right after the fight, then like the next morning, I'm like, nah, Wilder shouldn't take the immediate rematch, because if he does, the same thing is going to end up happening. But when I went back and I watched the first fight between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, something stuck out to me right away. Deontay Wilder was much more sharp in that fight. He was much sharper. He was much more defensively responsible. Now, I know that he was missing a lot. So understand me when I say he was much sharper. Even though he was missing a lot, the things that he was doing was much more sharp than what he was doing in the rematch. He was throwing combinations. He was letting his hands go. Even though he was being overzealous and he was missing a lot because of Tyson Fury's movement, he was still way more aggressive and way more sharp. You know what I'm saying? He was way more on point. He was even way more defensively responsible in the first fight. Slipping punches, slipping Tyson Fury's jab, even when Tyson Fury threw his right hand, rolling underneath the right hand. We didn't see any of that the other night in the rematch. I mean, in the rematch, he didn't keep his hands up. He didn't move his head. He had his chin up in the air. I don't know what was going on, but it was a completely different fight from how he fought the first fight. So when I went back and I watched the first fight, and I was like, man, Wilder actually looked decent. He actually looked good in this fight. He was slipping. He was bouncing. He was maintaining distance. He was defensively responsible. Like I said, he was keeping his hands up. He would do this a lot when Tyson Fury was punching. He even rolled. He even slipped and rolled a few punches from Tyson Fury. Even in the later rounds in the first fight, when he started to slow down and he got tired, he was still sharper than he ever was in the rematch. And I'm talking about in the first round of the rematch. I thought that Deontay Wilder, you got to go back and watch the first fight and then watch this fight. Completely flat, just almost looked like a completely different fighter. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, after the thumping that he got the other night, I was like, nah, he shouldn't fight Tyson Fury again. But when I go back and I watch the rematch and I watch how he performed, I mean, when I go back and I watch the first fight and I see how he performed in the first fight, I'm like, no, he could go back and take the immediate rematch. Now, if you guys watched my video when I did the reaction of him losing, me personally, I'm not making no excuses, but we got to do the same thing for Deontay Wilder that we did for AJ. I don't think that Deontay Wilder had a good training camp. And it's funny because leading up to the fight, all the interviews, all the press, it came out that like Tyson Fury had a bad training camp. And Deontay Wilder was saying, oh, I heard Fury, had a bad training camp. But maybe in all reality, maybe it was Deontay Wilder who had a bad training camp. He don't look like he did much sparring for this fight. He was 13 pounds heavier, so he definitely don't look like he did that much jogging. He was tired in this fight much earlier than he got tired in the first fight. And I mean, this is just my observations, you know what I'm saying? Because I was thinking, nah, he shouldn't go back and take the immediate rematch. But like I said, I went back and I watched the first fight again, and I'm like, no, hold up. He looked decent in the first. He looked good in the first fight. In the sense is that he just fought a much better fight in the first fight than he did this fight. In this fight, he backtracked the whole time. He was on the back foot, letting Tyson Fury come forward and still not even using his jab. In the first fight, when Tyson Fury did try to come forward, Deontay Wilder, he didn't go back as much. He would circle, and then he would keep Tyson Fury at bay because he was throwing his hands. You know what I'm saying? This fight was a completely different fight, a completely different Deontay Wilder. And like I said, shout out to Tyson Fury because he did what he said he was gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Came in, fought on the front foot, took it to Deontay Wilder, and ended up stopping him. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Tyson Fury, not taking nothing away from Tyson Fury. But when I compare the first fight and the second fight, as far as the way Wilder looked, it just looked like two different fighters. He fought a much better fight in the first fight than he fought in the rematch. I mean, like I said in my reaction video, he put up hardly to no resistance whatsoever. And the things that he was doing defensively looked real amateurish. I mean, before amateur level, like before you know how to box. Somebody's trying to hit you, you putting your hands out and turning your head this way. That's how he kept getting hit on his ear. Because every time Tyson Fury punched, whether it was a jab or straight punch, Wilder would do this. He would do this. And it's like, bro, where'd you get that shit from? You know what I'm saying? But, like I said, I want you guys to tell me in the comment section if y'all think Deontay Wilder should really take the immediate rematch. Like I said, after watching the fight, I was like, no, he shouldn't take the immediate rematch. But when I go back and I watch the first fight and I see how Deontay Wilder performed in the first fight, I'm like, nah, he should take the immediate rematch. But really, it all depends on how he recovers from this psychologically. You know what I'm saying? This all depends on how his mind is after this, because he really took a beating. So in my opinion, if he can get his mind right, I think that he should take the immediate rematch. That's if he can get his mind right, because I think that ability to ability, he has the ability to compete with Tyson Fury and make it a close fight where he could actually win, just like the first fight, rather than just getting completely dominated and beat up by Tyson Fury like he did in this fight. So you guys tell me what y'all think about it in the comment section. Until then, keep fighting your fight and protect yourself at all times, man. Peace and one love. So if you like this video and you would like to see more great content like this on the channel, go to the PayPal link or the Cash App link in the description and show your appreciation by donating any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. This is Real Life Boxing.